Alright, newest episode of Halcyon and Bedlam. Bad pop culture that we love because we didn't prepare shit for this.
Not anything. With the holidays, I think it's kind of understandable that we're kind of... I think everyone's kind of at that point now where we're just like, God, please just fucking shoot me. Let the holidays... I love Christmas time, you know that, but I'm just like, man, I really didn't prepare that well.
I hate it. I hate it
I
so
know, me
much.
too.
Happy Yule.
Happy Yule. And you know what? Speaking of other things that are terrible, because that's the cusp of this episode today. I thought of another one, but I'll wait till later to bring it up.
All right.
It is Christmas related, so I'll remember. Don't worry.
I'll the jingle all the way.
Way to spoil the fucking surprise, because I have it on DVD right there.
Yes.
Somewhere. Where the fuck is
I
it?
fucking love that movie.
I do too. Oh my god.
But just to circle back a bit, where this whole thing started for us was, we have a minor tradition. It's nothing unique by any stretch, but
it is wonderful.
yeah, we have a little thing between us where the goal is to find the worst movie we can and show it to the other person.
Yep.
And a lot of the times we're like, this is so unbelievably horrid.
But I fucking love it.
Yep. and I don't mean ironically, like I know people love The Room, like ironically, because they're like, oh my god, it's so bad, it's good. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about movies that I am very aware are complete dumpster fires, but I really love watching.
Yep. The one in particular that brought it, well, recently that you and I watched was it High School?
Monster High?
Monster High, I think. I've got the DVD.
Yeah.
You actually left it over here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Monster High. It's from the 80s. I'm actually holding the DVD right now. We actually have a 4-pack with Brain Scan, which is another good one, too. Brain Scan, Fright Night, and The Craft, and then Monster High. Now, I had never heard of Monster High. I didn't even know this was a fucking thing. I think I'd seen the DVD cover a couple of times.
You can't even really get the movie. It's like, we checked on Amazon. It's only available in this freaking Thrills and Chills 4-pack and, like, a digital download.
Yeah.
That's kind of it.
And it came out, it looks like, in 1989 is when it came out. Now, if you find this, buy it. Anywhere. Because this is, some of the reviews online, I don't think they got the point of it. Like, because I'm watching it going, what the fuck is going on in this movie? But I remember looking over at Rec about halfway through, and I was like, dude, I fucking love this movie. I think it was the point when that little fucking plant gremlin thing was running around. Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck is this movie even about? We've got this guy who's like Mr. Apocalypse or some shit like that.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Or Mr. Armageddon.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I love the unbelievable lack of subtlety.
Oh, I know. It's fucking glorious.
Yeah.
They give no shit in this movie. And they are unapologetic as fuck. And I think that's one of the best things about it. Actually, that reminds me, when you told me about this movie...
I was about 20 minutes into it.
And you stopped, and I remember you texted me like, hey, I was just starting to watch Monster High, and I stopped because we had to watch it together. I'm like, it can't be that good. I'm like, well, let me explain to you this way. I think it was like at the point with the penis thing.
I told you the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, you need to come over here so we can fucking watch this thing. I think it was like a week later. She came over.
Yeah, there's no possible way to ruin this, so I'll tell you guys the same thing. So,
because nothing we say now is going to ruin this fucking movie.
Right? Except maybe the thing about how, like what it kind of implied, like this is the same movie as. Let's not tell them that bit.
Yeah, which I was about to. So I'm glad you didn't do that.
So the opening of this is these two like I don't even know how to describe them. They kind of look like the worst cosplay of the Minion characters from the early. No, the early Power Rangers.
Oh, like the putties? Yeah,
yes.
They kind of look like the putties. They look
like with faces.
That or if you ever saw Scary Movie 3 when the aliens come down.
That is a much better example.
Yeah, the only difference is though the eyes, they have regular human eyes rather than like the black eyes that the aliens have in Scary Movie 3.
Yep.
That's how I kind of like picture it. Except for the chick, because there's a female alien.
It was just horrible. I feel so bad for what happens to her.
Yeah, it's fucked up. I think that was another point in the movie where I'm like, what the fuck? There's no rules in this goddamn movie. Like, that's all I can really say without spoiling that. Very graphic.
So basically what happens is these two like complete morons, I don't even remember their names. I don't think it's important.
It's really not.
But they steal a box or something, and they accidentally bring it to Earth and accidentally open it.
I love it.
By the way, you're actually watching the entire thing from the perspective of a VHS tape
Yeah.
collected by a bunch of I don't even know how they don't even really go into how this dude has this stuff. Basically, he's I think he's supposed to be God,
I think so.
but
like,
he fucks his receptionist.
fucks his receptionist constantly throughout the movie. Does a fuck ton of cocaine, and like I'm like, what the fuck, like. But I don't honestly, genuinely, I'm not even being right. It's probably one of the best, like, fun horror movies I've seen in a long time. If I could be, like somewhat critical of it, the story isn't really focused, like,
No.
at all. And that can be kind of a turn off for some people, but if you go in and just fucking turn your brain off, oh my god, it's so good. Like, I genuinely want to do a drinking game to this, because, like, there's just so much crazy shit. I'd cut you off, though, as you were explaining the first
good.
10 minutes.
You're good.
Keep going. Like...
It would be a good drinking game. It's like anytime you see anything that makes you go, "What in the goddamn fuck?" Just take a shot.
So we're not making it out of the first 15 minutes of the movie, then.
So yeah, they steal this box. They bring it to Earth, right in the middle of a high school. So fantastic. You've already done one of your 3 set changes right then and there.
Yeah. That's all we have the budget for.
And I can't remember. I think you briefly meet some of the main characters and all that stuff. They're not important
Very
either.
briefly, no, yeah.
Except for like the chick.
Yeah, well, even then, that's arguable too, because she stops being important like halfway through the movie until like the very end.
Yeah.
Well, even the dude main character doesn't become important until like halfway through the movie. It's like, oh yeah, he's still in this, I guess.
Up until that point, it's just a bunch of people getting like slaughtered viciously. So
yeah.
So Mr. Armageddon, his whole purpose is to fulfill his name.
Yep.
And he just starts like fucking with shit.
Yeah.
Like, he's not supposed to like, open the gates of hell. He's not gonna like burn the atmosphere. He's nothing to that effect. He's literally just gonna be like a trickster god. The first thing he does is animate a statue into a quote horny murder monster.
Yep.
And the only thing that guy does for the majority of the movie is like hit a dude with a truck. That's it.
And I think it was at that point when you texted me like I had to stop this because this is something that we need to watch.
Oh no, it went a lot farther than that.
Oh, did you go?
Yeah, I think I told you the whole like he does that. Some nerd is like playing games and he's like, I'm already at level 200, and he has like he makes the computer fucking eat the guy.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Which pays off later. And
it does.
Like he traps a dude in a perpetual nightmare, so he's just constantly waking up from horrid shit happening to him.
Well, you brought up a good point actually. Is a lot of people think that it's just random shit with no payoff, and it's like if in a bad movie. That's why I say this. I'll argue that this is not a bad movie because in a bad movie, plot holes and stupid shit will happen all the time like that. I would actually challenge people to watch it and tell me where a plot hole happens, because everything as stupid and as fucking nuts as things get, they always have a payoff for it, and it's explained something. So it's like they took the whole idea of Chekhov's gun and took it like fucking 10,000 times fold. They introduced fucking like not putting your sneakers in the microwave early on in the movie, and that plays a part into it later with a character death, and like it's so stupid.
There's a dude who gets the bright idea to stick one of the seeds from his like bag of weed into the culture, like into a little like grow station in his biology lab.
Yep.
And it turns into a giant weed monster.
Yep.
Like it's just not.
And there's payoff with that.
Yeah, nothing that happens has no purpose.
Yeah, it always comes full circle.
Yeah.
Even the aliens at some point stop being relevant for a while. And I can't.
It's mostly just because they're dicking off in the background like everything else.
Yeah, like you'll be watching a scene, you'll realize, oh yeah, the aliens are right there, huh?
Yep.
But like God's involved in this. Like I don't fucking understand why. Like, okay.
Well, he's watching the after action report.
Oh yeah, the aftermath. Yeah, that's right. Because it's all told from the after. Because I don't want to spoil the ending. I almost spoiled it. So like.
So that's pretty much the first 10 minutes is pretty much that.
Yeah.
Mr. Armageddon, and he doesn't like. It's not all murder stuff. Like he pops up in the girl's bathroom mirror.
Yeah.
And
just to be a creep.
Yeah. The only thing he does is like pop this girl's shirt open with mind powers, and then just kind of vanishes.
And then takes off. Doesn't even wait to see the payoff.
Yeah. Just everything from like having a computer eat a dude to just like popping somebody's top open. His whole MO is that.
Did he Was he the reason that the weed monster actually like became a monster?
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure he was.
He
Yeah,
did the whole thing where he's like he like
The
popped up
pinky
behind
thing,
the
right?
guy and he's like, yeah, he's got this weird hooked pinky.
which I think is a reference to like cocaine. Because his fingernails, like that one fingernail, super long.
Yeah.
So, and I think that that's a reference to.
This whole thing is written by. This whole thing is like horror movie.
Like cokeheads.
Yeah.
Like if you're into coke, you'll love this fucking movie. You'll be like, yeah, I'm about to give you some fucking coke.
Don't do hard drugs, kids.
Yeah, I don't recommend it.
I don't even recommend nicotine.
Yeah, I don't either. I specifically don't. as Rec takes a fucking giant hit from his vape. But I guess we should move on from there because I don't want to like.
We could do an entire thing just talking about this
Maybe
movie.
we should do that someday. Just do a specific thing where we just talk about the ins and outs of certain things.
Well, I would love to do that as like a stream or something. You know,
That
just
would
to have
be
like
fun.
have a private stream. People can watch the movie with us and just
That would
hear
be
us talk
cool.
shit about it. Basically, it's just Mystery Science Theater, but it's just me and you.
Which actually, you were telling me before we started rolling this, because we were trying to figure out where we wanted to start this before I tangented off to Monster High, which is technically viable, but Rack actually wanted to start on the thing that kind of brought us together in this personal love of ours. And I don't. Do you want to do the honors? And because
Sure, it was fucking Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yep,
It was the greatest thing ever. Like they didn't even have the whole thing on Netflix yet.
No,
and
this
we
was
were just
way
scrolling
before
through.
then too. Yeah.
And you went through it and you picked out one.
Yep.
You can go ahead and pick it up from there.
And it was and I actually most people that love Mystery Science Theater 3000, they always have a favorite episode, and it's because they love it ironically and unironically at the same time.
Yeah.
And the episode, which it's my favorite, I know it's your favorite, it's The Final Sacrifice.
The worst movie ever made in Canada.
Yes, and potentially the best movie ever made in Canada.
I would argue the second.
Yes, same. The thing is, with The Final Sacrifice, I remember watching it a long time ago with one of my ex-girlfriends, but the thing was we were both smoking a lot of weed, and all I remember in passing was just the word Rosdower. And that's all I could remember from the damn thing. So
greatest fucking hero name I've ever heard in my life.
One of the greatest heroes of all time. So Rec and I, we were hanging out, and I was like, why don't I watch fucking Mystery Science Theater 3000? Okay. And I'm like, I remember kind of watching this, but I don't remember really what it was like. And then just the minute that movie fucking starts, it just gets, oh my god. Like, it almost feels like had the creators had been given a bigger budget and some time to make the fucking movie good.
With all the same cast.
With all the same goddamn cast.
The extras and all.
Yeah.
I don't know where the fuck they got that many extras. Or ski masks.
I don't know. I love the one joke they make. It's like, oh guys, my next go do a load real quick. It'd be cheaper that way. I mean, they're all black anyway, so I'll throw in a load, and then hey, we don't gotta worry about paying for it later.
My favorite joke is the chainsaw.
Oh.
I don't know which one of these dudes had the bright idea. Just like I don't have any room to talk. We're gonna do a bit at some point where I bust through something. I don't want to ruin the whole thing, but it's essentially the same effect.
It's gonna be a good bit though.
These fucking guys, they pull out a chainsaw and cut through the front door, and without skipping a beat, one of the robots goes, "That was open, you jerk."
That was open, you jerk. And they meticulously cut through the door.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Final Sacrifice, it's on Netflix right now. You can go watch it. Like,
I think it is.
I'm pretty sure it's still. I know they cycle through them, but like, I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix right now. Like, if you watch anything from this stream, go watch that. Like, you will not be fucking disappointed. I think, for me, I remember busting out laughing the part where, like, I don't know why. Physical comedy always just makes me laugh really hard.
Yeah.
And it's about halfway through the movie when Rousdower is like being chased by the hooded guys and they got the rifle and there's that big gun shootout. I say big gun shootout, but like it's really shitty special effects.
It's like 7 shots all from the same tree.
Yep, and then he's like, and he's running, and in the background you just hear the MST3K people just like, oh god, because it looks like Rousdower's about to have a fucking heart attack running, and like he legit looks like he's about to. And then you look at the other people in the ski masks, and they're doing the same fucking thing, running up the side of this mountain. They're just, oh my god.
15 takes later, you realize people are not that graceful.
No, they're really not. Oh no, actually, I apologize. My favorite scene in the whole movie.
Good luck.
Is
there's just this random Basil Expedition Yosemite Sam crossover of a person, and he goes over this whole thing about how like this dude's the last surviving member of these like
the
ancient.
Zeist or
I don't remember.
or something like that. It was like
They were a race of superior beings. In what fucking way? Their ancient civilization was one obelisk that had a fucking devil head on it. That's it.
That's all they had. They're superhuman beings, man. Which is hilarious because technically that means that Rousdower is a descendant of them. Which, I mean, obviously, you look at that's the perfection of man right there. Rousdower
Zap motherfucking Rousdower.
Zap motherfucking Rousdower. You know what's crazy is
I'm gonna splice in a screenshot of that.
You really should, yeah. Like what's surprising me. What surprises me with like nerd culture and the rise of the phenomena of ironically liking shitty things.
I think they're full of shit. I really do.
I do too. I think it's just people don't want to take responsibility for, or they don't want to take the heat of liking something that could potentially give them shit for. Because I love Final Sacrifice. If I got to meet motherfucking... Yeah. People are just afraid to get fucking like made fun of. And it's like, who gives a shit?
Well, I gave one of my friends at work shit because we were talking about a series on... Stars called American Gods, made after Neil Gaiman's books.
Yep.
And first of all, fantastic series. Scary as shit for certain parts. Like I don't think people focus on the part that freaked me out.
Yeah.
Like I did, but like Bilquis. Bilquis is the scariest one out of everybody in that whole thing. Second is the god Anansi. I think is how you say his name. He's an African god of stories and silk and shit.
I actually think I have the Anansi boys or brothers somewhere. It's like it's kind of a sequel to the book, but like it's not at the same time. Anyway,
but yeah, these two scare the shit. All of the African gods in this movie are like fucking horrifying in that regard. Bilquis like absorbs people into her vagina.
Oh yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah, it's like imagine a succubus except like you just die.
You just die. There's not anything fun.
Yeah, there's no corpse, none of that stuff. Just horrifying. Just all everything. And she meets them through like Tinder. So it's like let's just add an extra layer of what the fuck.
Which we were talking about that prior to the stream starting. Just fuck Tinder, man. Like any online dating shit. But
well, I think we talked about it at one point too. I think that's the kind of shit that's missing from horror movies now. Is that you have to take something that's inherently innocent and make people afraid of it.
Yep.
Or you have to take a concept that people are afraid of and personify it. There's really not much else you can do.
That's true. So you're playing with the emotional aspect of the person.
Yep. Everybody seems to think that, like I don't know why they do, but like Bilquis, like, oh yeah, you get to die having sex with a super hot fucking African goddess. That sounds awesome, bro. No, it doesn't. It sounds fucking terrifying.
I could literally go and fuck anybody else and live. Yeah. So that's debatable if it's a crazy bitch. That's
true.
But okay, so circling back, I apologize.
Or her husband comes home. There's no middle ground.
Yeah, I mean, like, been there. What? Like, no, I'm just kidding. But like, circling back though, my thought though was with all the crazy nerd culture and everything that's surrounding like really shit media, and you get like spin-off comic books of really bad movies or spin-off movies or games. Why has there never been a Zap Rousdower graphic novel? I challenge, because obviously the people are fucking listening who made that movie. I challenge them to make a sequel with Zap fucking Rousdower in it. We need a Zap Rousdower sequel. Like, we need Zap Rousdower meets Bruce Campbell. Like, that's how bad we need this shit. Like, that would be so epic.
That'd be great, too. Just, like, the crossover for that would be amazing. Because it's like, oh, yeah, I have some experience with cults. And it's like, oh, yeah, I have some experience with some, like, weird fucking back alley demon books, and there's both of them in this one. These guys are reading a backhanded demon book in order to fucking summon an army of fucking horrid creatures.
You know what would be...
Zap Rousdower's got the experience fighting a horde of fucking people who are fanatical cultists.
In fucking ski masks. To make it even better, so you got Zap Rousdower, Bruce Campbell, and...
definitely the kid.
Oh yeah, the kid. Kid's like
he's probably like 48 by now.
Fuck it, still say he's the kid. That's fine. And what's his name for Big Trouble in Little China? Kurt Russell's character.
Jack
Burton.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, have the three of them in a movie.
He only says his name 9 times.
Yeah, 9 fucking times in the whole movie.
Every
I love that. I love that movie though too. That's a good fucking movie.
One of my favorite bits though for them is like, well, you know what old Jack Burton always says at a time like this? Who? Me.
And I love how like he's like
he did it better than Star-Lord.
Oh yeah.
Fight me.
I think that was a reference to that.
I hope so.
I'm pretty sure that had to have been a reference to that because it was almost too like on the nose when it comes to that because Star-Lord and Jack Burton kind of have similar personalities where like
Just kind of like suave, but
they
not
think
cool.
they're the shit. Yeah, but like the only difference is like Star-Lord technically is a hero, whereas Jack Burton, like technically Wang is the main character of the movie.
Yeah.
It's just like
Jack Burton's just the token white guy.
yeah, and they make it
movie.
yeah they make it seem like he's gonna be the big hero, but he really doesn't do shit. Like, which is great. I love Jack Burton.
He kills a lot of them.
He does kill a lot of them, but like in the very beginning of the final battle, you know, where they're all just he's like and he shoots up at the fucking thing and the fucking shit. Yeah, I was like, you dipshit.
I fucking love this movie.
It's so good. That's one we gotta watch actually these days. That's what's sad is a lot of people. Well, I mean, nowadays it's seen as a good movie, but I remember a long time ago people were like, "Oh, it's such a bad movie. It's not good." I'm like,
well, yeah, you know, when you compare it to the shit that I think most of the problem is a lot of stuff nowadays. It's a lot like shitty music back in the 2000s.
oh yeah.
When you compare it to shitty music now, it's like, no, Tarzan Boy was a fantastic song, and how dare you compare it to this?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Is I was listening to this fucking 80s pop star named Cleo, and
That sounds familiar.
yeah, she did this song called Faces, it's really good. But a lot of people had said that she wasn't very good. She was like a dime dozen fucking pop star back in the day. But like you listen to it, and it's got this like because I think she was like an Asian pop star.
Wow.
But like this was before. I could be wrong. I don't know. I just looked at the one cover of her. But like it sounds a lot like the Asian like was it Tokyo. It's really big now. Like the
band Tokyo something.
No. I know who they are. They're not too bad. I actually like them despite people like really not liking them. Tokyo Hotel, I think that's the name of the group.
Okay.
I actually think they're pretty good. No, it was it's like Tokyo City music. It's like a whole genre.
Okay.
With Plastic Love.
I know what you're talking
Maya
about.
Takeuchi, yeah. It's kind of like that.
It's like you hear it, you hear that kind of stuff, or you hear the soft version of that in every Chinese restaurant you go to.
Yeah. Well, actually, we went to Pong Pong's.
I'm not knocking it. I really enjoy it.
Oh, I do
It's
too.
very relaxing.
When we went to Pong Pong's, that's when I found Bong Shang-Hua, I think was the name of the song.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember. It's
It played like 9 times while we were in there.
yeah.
No idea why.
Dun, dun, dun,
I felt bad for them
dun,
because it was like,
dun,
Jesus
dun.
Christ, it's like Christmas music for you guys, but all the time, huh?
Yeah, thank God that they're still in business though.
Which I find it weird. How does a country that big have like such a small selection? He's like, or is there
That's
maybe
a
their
bad idea.
Spotify just sucks? I don't know. Like the one restaurant we went to, the playlist was just terrible.
Yeah, it was constantly the same fucking thing. Well, actually, it was when we went to the Mekong the other day.
Uh-huh.
Went to this basically like the strip mall, which has got like a bunch of Asian stores in there.
It smells amazing.
Oh my God, I love it. Absolutely love it in there. Well, actually, keep going. I want to see what Cleo looks like because I don't want to say she's Asian and then she turns out to be like fucking white
That'd be hilarious.
or something like that.
But you know, just keeping in line with that. There's a lot of like '80s pop songs that I've been delving into lately that fall in line with that kind of thing. You can see how people didn't like it back then. You know, there's a lot of repetition.
Or even in the
not a lot of
90s
building.
too.
Yeah. Oh God, right. 90s and early 2000s. Something happened after like 2008 where it just like this all sucks. What the fuck happened? And even then, like there are hundreds of hours of people who have like degrees in music or are artists themselves
Okay, so
ripping this stuff to shit.
Yeah.
Because of just how unbelievably flaccid it is.
So I was wrong, but that's true though. And this actually does tie into what we're talking about with the 80s shit. I was wrong. She is not Asian.
What's she look like?
She is Italian.
Oh. Same thing. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's her because I guess there's like a whole subcategory. Sorry, I remember looking this up a while ago. It's all coming back to now. There's like a whole subgenre of Italian like 80s like synth music
Oh.
that existed. Kind of like there's a whole subgenre of like 80s like horror movies that like everyone talks shit on, like the Italian giallos and shit like that.
Yeah.
Which we'll have to delve into that sometime. But that's what she looks like.
Oh my god, she is gorgeous.
Right. Cleo, look her up. Great stuff.
She kind of looks like
I think that's her.
what's her name? Eva Longoria?
Ava Longoria. No, because Ava Longoria,
But like young Ava Longoria? Like
kind
when
of.
She was in her 20s.
lighter complexion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
Not too far off, but it's not. It's kind of like those people that are like, oh, this girl looks like Penelope Cruz, and they're like, she looks like a Latin woman.
She look like a Latin.
She's an attractive Latin woman. That's.
I'm not against that though. I'm not against that. Yeah, here's another picture of her actually. I think that's on her album cover. But that's another one too. Most people never talk about
It
Cleo.
looks so tiny.
All right, like
Adorable.
but fuck, man, she makes some good ass fucking music.
Yeah. At least from your perspective, because apparently
From my
everybody
perspective,
hates
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Okay, this one. Okay, I kind of could see Ava Longoria from this shit. Actually, like,
Yep.
there's one where I'm like, yeah, there it is. Like, I mean, lighter skin complexion for sure, but like, maybe Ava Longoria is like partially Italian.
Oh my god, this is gonna be stupid. Speaking of things that I love that people seem to hate, the game Destiny.
Yeah, why is it that people hate that? Like,
a lot of reasons. It's mostly just the whole like, you know how YouTube's fucking with people a lot.
yeah, unfortunately.
Bungie and Activision kind of pulled the same shit in some
people
small ways.
Left like such a sour taste in everybody's mouth.
Yeah. The launch of Destiny 2 kind of contributed to the destruction of my clan. I was a little sad about it.
I do remember you telling me about that. I hate to do this. I do have to use the bathroom real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
So if you want to keep going on that, I'll just kind of.
I'll tell the story for that one because there's this joke going around for me where we were trying to figure out who all the voice actors were because everybody sounded so unbelievably familiar, and we got through it. Like the guy that does the voice of I'm just gonna look up the cast real quick because everybody there is from something else, and it like the whole thing started because of the Curse of Osiris expansion. What was his name? I forget his name. It was the guy who played the main Magi in the Mummy movies. When I first heard his voice, I was like, I know who that dude is. And we just started going through it, and we realized a lot of these people were from other stuff. So, cast of Destiny 2. Let's go with that. Well, it gives me all the voice actors' names, so it doesn't give me like the actual fucking character. There it goes. Okay. Yeah, Nathan Fillion is Cade 6, at least in the first game, and then once like the Forsaken expansion came out, the guy that does the voice of the Ghost is actually the one that does the voice of Cade 6. But then let's see, go through that. Yeah, Lance Reddick does Commander Zavala's voice. He was in the Wire, I believe. It's gonna bug the hell out of me. Let's see where we go here. Bill Nye, the speaker, fantastic work. Trying to find Eva real quick. God damn, where is it?
And I'm back. I am back. Did you tell him the story about the Destiny?
Partially, yeah. I'm trying to find who did Eva's voice.
Oh, okay. While you're for that, I actually had a thought, maybe for like another episode sometime. And we keep it kind of in the same vein as this, but I would love to do like most disappointing follow-ups to shit that we love.
Destiny 2.
Destiny 2. Yeah, because that's kind of the thing that sparked it. Because I was thinking about what we're talking about now, how shit that everyone hates that we love or like. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about The Amazing Spider-Man and how the first one that came out, I remember going to see that in theaters and genuinely liking it a lot. Like, I loved that movie, and I still like it. I've seen it a couple times since I saw it in theaters, and I still think it's pretty good. At least it's a decent first movie.
Yeah.
But man, I mean, you know fucking how much I hate the sequel. Like, it is literally one of the worst sequels I've ever seen. Like, it made me stop giving a shit about Spider-Man. And Spider-Man's my favorite superhero, like, of all time. Like, Marvel character, at least, anyway. And, like, that movie made me fucking hate talking anything about Spider-Man. So
right.
Maybe we'll keep that on the back burner for another episode.
Yeah.
Because we can talk about Disney 2 or Spider-Man 2. And we can
So
even go into music as well with that, too.
Yeah. So here's the joke for that, is that we were going through it. We were going through the list of the characters, and we're like, oh yeah, Cade 6 is Nathan Fillion. Like, there's not even a question about that. That his voice is too recognizable. But I fucked up, like, hard, because I was positive that Eva Levante was actually Eva Longoria, or however the hell you say her last name. who is a amazing actress. Almost everything I've seen her in, I love her.
Oh, was that who you're talking about with Cleo?
Yeah, I was talking to Cleo about that, and then and my buddy Jordan and my friend Tony was involved in this whole conversation. We were trying to get a sixth for a raid, and this just kind of happened. But her name is actually Nikia Futterman. Futerman, I think is how you say it. Yeah, and she just even kind of look like Eva Longoria.
Yeah. Oh man.
Not even fucking close. I blew that out, and it was a whole joke for a minute because everybody, but my buddy Jordan was just like, "You fucked that up hard." He's like, "I thought it was her too. You're good."
Oh my god. Well, I mean, no one's fucking perfect though. Like, I thought Cleo was fucking Asian, like, but she's Italian, like, and I remember specifically looking that up before too, because I was like, wow, this is some good fucking music, and then I'm like, it sounds like Asian, because it came up when I was listening to Plastic Love, and then that came up like, oh, it's got to be another Asian person. Nope, I'm just a fucking idiot.
Wait, Plastic Love?
Yeah, that's the name of the song. You ever heard that song?
It sounds like dildo.
You should look it up.
It sounds like somebody translated a word from another language for dildo.
It really does. It really does. No, this was in a more innocent time though. So I'm going to show you the song after the podcast. It's great.
I'm sure the idea is that it's talking about something that's not real but you think is real.
Materialistic kind of shit. Yeah, and I think you'll honestly like the song a lot. I'm surprised you haven't heard it. Or like it was pretty popular.
I just got into Dreadnoughts like a week ago.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I respect that. But it's good though. Like it's really good.
Thank you, Black Flag, for doing that.
Oh, I love Black Flag. So.
Oh no, not the band. The fucking Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag, yeah. Well, I figured because we've been doing the singing the hymns and shit like that. Or no,
shanties.
Shanties. Thank you. The past couple of weeks.
I've been learning it. I still keep fucking up the third and the fourth verse, like getting them mixed, or the second and the third verse, and getting them mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fucking great.
So another one we've talked about, not to move on from that one. Another one we've talked about that everyone seems to fucking hate, but I will argue is one of the best in this quadrilogy of movies. Mm-hmm. And that is Three Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain.
Oh, God.
With fucking Hulk Hogan. Motherfucking Hulk Hogan's in this
The one with the highest budget and the most...
yeah. Yeah.
Whole new cast. Fucking Ernest P. Worrell's in it. I always forget the guy's real name. And I feel so bad for him as an actor.
I do too, but...
Because he died before he managed to break away from that.
Which is sad. Which is very sad. But he does a great job in that one too.
Yep.
I can't believe that movie gets so much shit. Like nobody, like even it's not even liked unironically.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, or ironically. Either one. It's not. But I fucking love that movie. Like it combines so many different things I love. I love theme parks. I love Hulk Hogan. Well, I don't love Hulk Hogan, but
WWE in general.
Yeah. I love a lot of that extra bullshit. Like, I don't really watch WWE anymore, but I like a lot of the extra flamboyant fucking bullshit. It makes me smile. It makes me laugh.
I heard a great joke about it too.
Oh, yeah.
A guy had a rich girlfriend, and it's like they have that culture clash, and she's just talking shit about it. Or they were watching Raw on Friday night, and she's like, they're all on drugs, right? He's like, are you worried about the integrity of a sport we both know is fake?
It's true. I think
or not fake. It's a performance.
It's a performance. Yeah, it's theater. It's lowbrow theater arts. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you really think about it, it's trailer theater.
And as far as I can tell, none of them have any delusions about that. They're very aware of the type of fucking entertainment they provide.
Right, and I think that makes it better. Honestly, they're self-aware. They know that we're punching each other, we're yelling at each other, we're jumping off fucking turnbuckles. We technically could say that too, because everybody loves to hate on wrestling. Now, granted, I don't really watch it anymore. I just don't have time to really, and I really haven't in 10 or 15 years, but I can still appreciate it. Mm-hmm. But so many people talk so much shit on it. It's such an underbelly thing. I'm like, when did we get to a point where it was not cool to like wrestling? Because I remember specifically when I was a kid, fucking everybody loved that. Maybe it's a generational thing. Like once you reach a certain age, you're no longer allowed to out loud say wrestling is cool. I think that's the problem.
Well, no, we're having the same problem with anime and all. Really, for some reason, unless something is
still taboo to like it.
Yeah. Unless something becomes in the norm, then it's. First of all, I don't even understand how people pick this stuff because
It's a zeitgeist.
I don't get it. I really don't. I'm so out of it on that because I will find something that I love, and I have no idea if it has a fan base. Like at Comic-Con, I heard a song called "Desire" by Meg Myers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if this woman has a fan base or not. Right? I love this song. It was fucking great, and I listened to it obsessively.
Mm-hmm.
And then I eventually bought the album that it was on, and I fucking love every single song on that album. And then I bought the other album that she made and the EP, and I'm like,
yes,
I fucking love this artist.
Yep,
it's great. And
like Cleo with faces, yeah.
Right? And it's to that point where I'm like, I don't know if this person has fans. I don't know if this person does any tours. I've never actually watched an interview with her. The closest thing to that, I thought it was an interview with her. It was a behind-the-scenes thing on how she did this amazing video. For a cover of "Running Up That Hill."
Oh, okay.
And yeah,
I feel like you've showed me.
I might have.
I feel like you've showed me her before.
Yeah, because they filmed the whole thing and then they like digitally turned it into a coloring book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you showed me this before.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you've showed me.
Fuckload of kids color all the pages and then they animated it and it looks amazing.
That's cool. That's cool as shit.
But they were doing a behind the scenes thing and she's in like every frame of it. And you hear her talking to some of the kids while they're working on the coloring, and then it like cuts over and she's just kind of like chilling out behind the director, just laying there like a house cat on the top of the sofa, while the director of the video is just like talking about how awesome it was to make this thing.
Oh my god, that's fantastic.
Yeah. I don't remember for some reason I have a memory of her even like petting her for a second, just like reaching her hand out and going like.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing. I was just thinking we could talk about like Mandela effect shit and how it's kind of bullshit.
Oh yeah,
talk about that.
That'd be a great cast too. I don't care if anybody ever like. I haven't actually gotten any comments on any of these yet. Granted, we're only 3 in.
3 in, yeah.
If anybody has any suggestions, just put them on the thing.
Yeah.
I don't care. I read every comment. I read every reply to everything that I have so much free time. And I spend so much of it arguing with people on the internet.
That's true. Whenever I have free time, I'm usually in there like reading as well, like or doing something. But man, I just
he's seen mine. Like you went to work and you came back and there was how long was the thread? Like 50 fucking replies back and forth.
Not longer. I remember it was crazy. I was reading it like holy shit! Like what the fuck did you do today? Like I just laughed. I was like, oh my god, like...
Most of my time hiding in the cooler talking shit to a vegan.
Like, you fucking piece of shit.
No, I don't do that. I haven't argued with people like that since I graduated.
Yeah.
Middle school.
Right, you became an adult.
I don't think I ever wasn't.
That's fair.
Speaking, circling over to stuff that I hate that people seem to love for some reason. Fucking cats. I hate the play cats.
I don't know why people. I know we basically agree on everything. This whole thing, but I'm gonna have to agree again. Who the fuck likes cats? I'm sorry. Like,
why does it keep? It's like Rent. Why the fuck does it keep getting made?
See, with that one I can't say because I've never seen Rent.
I have. I hate it. I hate Rent.
That's fair.
Fuck Rent.
I can't say either way because I haven't seen it yet, but. I don't like. I like cats, the animal. Like I do. Their cats are cool. Like I got no beef with them. But like, who the fuck? We were actually talking about this at work the other day. How the hell did they get Idris Elba in the more recent Cats movie? Like, what favor did he owe? Or he had to go and do that? Like, if you haven't seen that, go watch the trailer. Like, that's all you need to see.
I refuse.
Like, have you seen the trailer for that?
No, everything.
Holy
everything
shit.
I've heard about it after Cats is being made into a massive air quotes here, live action movie.
Oh, yeah. Just like Lion King.
It's live action. It's lifelike CG. I'm like, you say that, but everybody keeps saying live action.
That's another one. We do a whole episode of shit where people love stuff but we hate, and I would talk about Lion King.
I would say that movie that video would be so much longer.
It would be so much longer because I feel like we're more contrarians than we are like agreists. Yeah. I guess if that's a fucking word, I don't know.
Whatever the word is for people who follow the zeitgeist. Like I didn't really like most of the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Outside of the Avengers themselves, like the Avengers movies, Age of Ultron's my favorite.
Which is very contrarian because most people hate Age of Ultron. That's a good. I like Age of Ultron.
Which I don't get. Like people talked about like Thanos being the most comprehensive villain. I think out of all of them, the goddamn robot made the most sense because like his line of reasoning and his logic was the only thing that felt remotely coherent and consistent.
We have to do this.
Yeah. Like,
I think the main
Thanos was completely full of shit.
Oh, yeah. He was just crazy. That's why they call him the Mad Titan.
Well, I think his fucking comic book motivation made way more sense than the bullshit they tried to do for the movie.
Yeah.
Like, I keep seeing the fucking memes of him where it's like the dude pouring wine with that face. And he's like, it's just like when the villain in the movie low-key is starting to make sense. It's like, that's because you're fucking stupid. Killing half the population solves no problems whatsoever other than overpopulation for a single generation.
Yeah, because then the next generation is just going to repeat that.
Yeah, or our generation's already solving all overpopulations. We're just not fucking.
Yeah, we're just
or
not.
We're aborting them.
I've seen that study where it's like this generation's actually had the lowest fertility rate in like the past like 200 years or some shit like that.
Or at least like just birth rate.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Birth rate. Yeah.
I don't know if we're infertile. That would explain a lot.
It would, but no, I would say that could explain a lot for me too. I'm like a lot of close calls there, but hey, no kids. Still doing good.
I had one scare when I was 17. It really
I've had
that big a deal. It
I've
was
had
a
a scare
fallout
too.
from the relationship that was bad.
And you know that we could talk about that in a whole another fucking thing too. But
circling back to like Ultron's whole thing was he wanted to create the apocalypse because he was aware of the fact that only the things strong enough to survive would survive.
Yep.
So ironically, like even though he didn't he liked what the Avengers were, but not how they conducted themselves.
Yep.
And his whole thought process was kill the weak so the strong can survive and prosper. And like as far as terrible plans with good motivations go, I think that one was the best. The rest of them all is fucking stupid.
That's fair. I won't say Thanos' plan was stupid, but in hindsight, like I think the big thing with Thanos that people are starting to wake up and realize was that it was the shock of him actually succeeding is what made him such a great villain. Not the plan. The plan in and of itself, we've already discussed how that would do that, but it's the fact that he won.
Yeah.
And I think that's what resonates in people more so than the actual plan itself. Whereas with Ultron, because he doesn't succeed, he's up for more scrutinization. Mm-hmm. I think if you would have given him more time to develop, or even bring him back in Endgame, at least Endgame. Like, I think there's a lot of problems with Endgame, but like, the biggest thing with Endgame is the final big push. Like, the last 20 minutes is some of the best in superhero cinema. Period. I will gladly go on record to say that.
Yeah.
Seeing all my favorite
barring 10 minutes.
Barring 10 minutes of it, yeah. So the last 10 minutes, Lord of the Rings it, and I'm like, okay, we just fucking end this movie already.
You know what the funny thing was like when they were doing that pan to like show you all their faces and everything. I kept looking at him. I'm like, who the fuck is that guy supposed to be? And so, it's the kid that helped him in the. Why?
Why is he here? Where was Ultron? Like that's what I'm saying. Like you brought him back, but you couldn't get James Spader to show up as Ultron for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Or at least just like talk.
Yeah.
Just bring him back as an FBI agent or something.
Yeah, anything. Just as a nod to him. And they couldn't do that. And the thing is, I feel like they could have brought him back. I think what would have made the Endgame final push better is if it would have been a culmination of all of the major villains. So we already established Red Skull was back.
Well, yeah, part of my issue with their whole thing is that like Thanos wasn't really better than the rest of them. He was just stronger than the Avengers.
Yeah, and the way they counteract that is you get more than a couple Avengers in there.
Yeah.
They fuck him up. I mean, like Thor in and of himself could take Thanos out.
Yeah.
By himself. So
he should be able to, but no, he's stronger than the Hulk.
Yeah.
Or as strong as the Hulk. Like it's just kind of dumb.
Yeah, it really doesn't like. When you think about it, like I don't want to completely shit on Endgame because I did enjoy Endgame.
I did too.
But I don't think I could sit through it again because it's one of those that's like that first hour and a half is rough. Yeah. Like I mean it's good, but it's good for like 40 minutes, and then I'm like, oh my god, this is the whole movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh god, I didn't say that in theaters.
A lot of weeping.
Yeah, but after getting out of theaters and like looking back on it in hindsight, I couldn't. Because like, while I was watching them in theaters, I was like genuinely engaged the whole time. But after that, I'm like, oh no, I couldn't watch this shit again. Like,
yeah, there was like 5 minutes of it where I'm like, that was fucking awesome. The rest of it, I was kind of like, all right, can we just...
like I said, the last 20 minutes of the movie when they're all there fighting. I'll even go as far as say last 30 minutes. When they're all there fighting, when I'm just gonna spoiler alert, I guess.
Yeah, my nostalgia boner was raging.
Yeah, oh
yeah. Have you fucking seen it by this point? Eat my ass.
Yeah, because you should have fucking. My ex hadn't seen it, so like whenever I try to talk about it, she'd get fucking mad. I'm like, it's been out a year. I've said I'd watch it with you. I don't know what the fuck you're doing waiting so damn long. But people are gonna think I'm just this raging sexist. Well,
No, you can have arguments with your fucking significant other, and that's the thing. I love. It's hard to argue with people now in that regard too, because everybody wants to go to a place that's personal, but then when you go to a place that's like too personal,
they get offended.
Or no, and it's personal, but it has something to do with an aspect of them that they can't change, like their race, their gender. I'm gonna catch some shit for that. I know it.
Good.
I don't even care how long into the future it is. It's just gonna be like, hold on, let me listen to that again. Like, you don't understand what I'm referring to.
Bring us
here.
your hate.
Yeah, things that you bring me all your hate. When it's talking about aspects that you either can't change or not easily change, like, that suggests some bad shit about you. However, when you got into a point where somebody's gonna insult you on that front, look back.
Yeah, what's the worst that's gonna happen to you?
Apparently, that entire side is gonna harass everybody that supports you into renouncing you.
Yeah.
So they've created a consequence.
Yeah, look at J.K. Rowling recently.
Oh, God, right.
With her defending somebody about like having multiple genders or whatever.
I
and
didn't
then,
look into it. I thought it was
yeah,
fucking hilarious.
you should look into it. I think you'll appreciate the article at the very least. But circling back because we got way off topic.
Yeah, we ended up flipping this into the one where we're like, this is all the shit I hate.
Yeah, maybe we should have done like a cross. But like the thing with that though is there is so much more shit that. No, I think it's about equal shit that I dislike that other people like, and vice versa, and all that jazz.
Yeah.
So, but to go back to because we're keeping it light, keeping it easy today. I know where I'll segue. Because it's the perfect segue you just brought up.
Yeah.
Multiple genders, people fighting and arguing, being super politically charged. There's only one logical place we can go to from here. And I'll show you. Jingle All the Way. We're going to talk about Jingle All the Way now.
Yes.
This is probably
the worst Christmas movie I've ever seen, but I fucking love it.
I was gonna say, honest, this might be my favorite Christmas movie of all time. Like, and now after saying that, I will never get laid again. I don't know why I don't have this open yet.
There's a tiny like niche genre of like early 2000s movies where it's just basically it's just Arnold Schwarzenegger in most of them, but it's just strong dudes trying to do like normal shit,
like Kindergarten Cop and
fucking glorious.
Yeah.
The
Well,
Pacifier. I love it.
Yeah, Tooth Fairy, like Pacifier. I think was Vin Diesel. Actually, a pretty underrated family flick in my opinion.
Yes.
But
Which I get it. It's popular to hate Vin Diesel now.
it is too. But I fucking love Vin Diesel, man. Y'all can fucking suck a dick.
Right?
I fucking think Vin Diesel's great. I gotta open this
Do
shit
I
up.
think
I'm
he's
watching this shit
fucking
tonight.
weird? Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's weird, but I'm fucking
Say
weird.
a bunch
Like,
of inappropriate shit to beautiful women in interviews? Absolutely.
yeah, he does. That is a little creepy. But
Does that mean I can't enjoy the fucking
Nope.
Chronicles of Riddick?
any of them?
Yeah.
No. That's another one too, but I'll get into that in a second. But first, Jingle All the Way. I almost want to talk about Chronicles of Riddick now because that gets a lot of shit too.
Yeah, we'll circle through.
Yeah, okay.
'Cause primarily, I think out of everything in Jingle All the Way, it's the kid ended up getting more shit than anybody else for his life. And
Yep.
oh god, part of me is kind of happy that people have flipped on that and like stopped, attacking the individual. I know a lot of you might argue that that's exactly what people do. Still, that's not what happens. It's when those dumb motherfuckers open their mouths and start calling people shit that they are not, that they start attacking them personally.
Yep.
Take Rose Tico. Nobody really hated the actress.
No.
We
But
just hated
the character.
what the fuck they did with that.
Yep. And I actually made a full video about how they could save Rose Tico's character in the Rise of Skywalker.
The only way it would have made sense.
Yep. And from what I understand, they did not do that. So if you watched my video, I was wrong. I will glad, and I think I even said that I'm like, they're probably not going to do this, but
I think I said that to you after
you did. You're like, you have a lot more fucking faith in this franchise than I do, and I'm like, I don't really, but
especially because I genuinely believe that they read all of this stuff and then like send it all to the director, and then they find the weaseliest way to go like, okay, let's try to work our way around everything that these people predicted and do none of it.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
Yeah, why not make a couple of people happy?
To quote George R.R. Martin, who gives a shit if
Yeah.
some random Reddit user figured out that you had the butler as the villain?
No one gives a shit.
You can't spend 3 of your books setting up the butler as the guy who did the murder, and then at the end say, "Oh, the maid did it."
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid.
When the maid wasn't even like there.
That's
like,
one of the reasons I stopped watching crime shows. I know people hate them, and I know people just watch them because they're like mildly interesting. I didn't do that. I loved that I was so good at figuring out the twists that I would give it my attention.
Yeah.
Because I like that moment of going like,
I
that
got this.
motherfucker killed him.
Yep.
And then have them actually go like, this motherfucker killed him. Like, yes, I fucking knew it. I picked up on everything you guys put down. Yes.
But the problem is modern crime shows, they know that people do that, so they try to always change it at the last second.
Yeah. And
Kind of like what you were just saying, and
it's
it's like,
disingenuous.
it's like, why am I even bothering with this shit if none of the clues are gonna mean fucking sense? Actually, there's a PS4 game I should let you borrow after I'm done beating it. It's called Judgment. You basically play as a lawyer, an ex-lawyer. He accidentally sets a serial killer free and gets him off a charge for murder, and then goes home that day and murders his girlfriend. So yeah, and like in a fucked up way. So then 3 years later, he decided after he's like, I have poor judgment in people, so I'll never.
3 years later,
yeah.
figures that out.
Yeah, well, no, that day he figured it out, so he stopped being a lawyer and decided to be a private detective at that. So it's this giant story of him
flipping back around.
kind of. It deals a lot with like crime drama
Uh-huh.
and everything, but it kind of ties back into his original case with the serial killer, because now there's a new serial killer out. And I'll show you the box. It's good. I've been playing through it. It's just a long game because there's so much shit to do in it.
See, those are the best. Like, I think it's amazingly hilarious how
It's kind of flamboyant though. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little crazy.
yeah. But I think it's great how game company. This looks gorgeous, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
It kind of reminds me of that movie. Another movie that apparently people didn't like that I loved was Fractured. It has the cover looks a lot like this. It's Ryan Gosling is a prosecutor.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, it's on Netflix if you get around to it.
I'll give it a
It's,
shot.
Great. But the whole thing is and the best thing about it is that they show you in the beginning what happened. There's no question. There's no well, did this guy? It's not like The Lodger, which is another horrible movie that I love. A horrible crime movie where they're like, you're like, is this guy even real? Is this what's happening?
I think
What's
I've
going on
seen
with
this movie, and it's like, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's like a car accident.
No.
Okay,
No.
different movie then. Okay.
Straight up shoots her in the face.
Oh, okay. I've seen another one with Ryan Gosling where it turns out like he's the main character, even though he's not the main character, but he is because he's actually dying. And it's one of those.
They try to do a Fight Club thing.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where it's like, but it's like the last couple seconds when he's alive and he's just picturing like, I don't remember what the movie's called, but he's like picturing the people at the scene, and he's meeting these people for the first time, but in his imagination, he's making their entire lives, and they're trying to save him.
Huh.
And that's because it's a metaphor of them trying to. They're just these random pedestrians trying to save him right now.
Damn.
Yeah, but in reality, they're like their way of trying to save him in his fantasy world while he's dying is them trying to like rekindle their lost love relationship. It's actually really beautiful the way it ends. A lot of people give it shit, but I thought it was a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
At the very ending of the movie,
I think Lost spoiled that kind of stuff for
Yeah,
people.
kind
It's
of
like,
did,
oh, it was
yeah.
all a dream. And I was like, you have no fucking idea what you were doing the whole time.
They didn't.
Yeah.
They really. J.J. Abrams.
Fucking, I have so much hate for this man now.
Which is funny because that actually kind of. I know we were going to talk about Jingle All the Way, but I want to skip past that because you brought up something else I think is more important.
Okay.
The ultimate fucking movie, I'm going to say franchise, where people fucking love to hate it, but I didn't think it was that bad, and that's Star Wars. Now, not the whole series, but I'm talking specifically the prequels. Now, you and I have talked about this on great length off the cuff. Excuse me. There, up until about 6 years ago, there was so much fucking hate for the prequels.
Which I didn't get.
Exponential amount. For Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, most people genuinely like Revenge of the Sith. I think it's the best of the trilogy. Original trilogy, or the prequel trilogy, but...
My favorite of the three is definitely Attack of the Clones.
That's fair. I think, which is funny, this is where we're going to probably diverge on, because my second favorite was Phantom Menace. And I know everybody in fucking... When you eventually watch this or listen to this, is going to be like, oh, you fucking scrub. You scrub. But everybody hated this fucking franchise, the prequels, until the new ones came out. Now, everyone's talking about how, oh, I love the prequels. Phantom Menace wasn't that bad. I'm like,
fuck you.
yeah, it's like, no, I
Fuck
saw
all of
your
you.
shit.
I fucking love Jar Jar. Eat
Yeah.
my shit.
Yeah, I didn't think Jar Jar was that bad. I'm going to come out and say it. He was not that bad.
I found him charming.
He was. He was fun. He was like a 3D Goofy. He was Goofy. Now, okay.
You're right.
You could
he
argue.
Was fucking,
he was Goofy.
Like Frogman Goofy.
Yeah.
I didn't even think
Yeah, I mean, you can argue maybe Goofy doesn't fit in Star Wars.
No.
But he wasn't that bad. I'm sorry. He wasn't. Like, he wasn't that annoying. He didn't really do that much that would be that bad. He was C-3PO and R2-D2, but with a squeaky voice.
Ironically, everything that you mentioned about Rose Tico in your video that we were referencing, I'll try to remember to link it in this.
Oh, if you can, thank you.
But just the idea that like that it looked like they were laying the groundwork for that same thing.
And they
I
didn't
would
do
have
shit with it.
fucking loved to see in the third one to have that moment where he's like talking like an idiot, and then just kind of all of a sudden just turns
Sith
into Count
Lord.
Dooku.
Yeah, fucking Sith Lord.
Yeah.
He could either be Count Dooku, or it could have been like he could have been Darth Plagueis, or fucking originally.
Even just the idea that like maybe just maybe they were kind of like, you know what, fuck the rule of 2.
Yeah, we're just gonna say there's 3.
Yeah.
Why not?
Or even just fucking the extended universe they do that.
Oh yeah, well
like
Sidious really never followed the Sith law anyway. He used that as a political movement more so than anything. He didn't really give a shit about Sith philosophy. He just wanted power.
Yeah.
That's why he always talked about it. He, not from a Jedi, a Sith would never do this, but a heretic Sith would. And it's like, okay, you, obviously. But, but supposedly, now, I remember seeing, y'all can quote me if I'm wrong or not on this, but I remember seeing something where they actually did talk about how Jar Jar was supposed to eventually become like a Sith Lord, or like some villain. Like, they talked about how it was like the least person you would expect. And they say it in like Phantom Menace, it was someone you wouldn't expect.
Well, that's why you keep seeing that like thing of like him in the background kind of like mouthing along while the characters are talking.
Yeah, like he was
It's influencing them ever so slightly.
Yep.
Because they don't ever really touch on it in the movies or in the franchise, but in the books and the extended universes, everybody has something slightly different with the Force. Like, the Force it's just fucking magic.
Yeah.
That's the whole...
Space magic.
People don't pay attention to that. Like, the Jedi are primarily psychic.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of... Like, they're just...
That's their thing.
Yeah, they're the big 3 for psychics. They have telepathy, telekinetic powers, and shit, what's the one for foresight? Whatever. Telekinetic, telepathy, and foresight. I don't think it's called the 3. No, it's not the 3 T's. It's just the big 3.
Yeah, the big 3.
Future, fortune telling, oracle, something like that. Whatever.
Yeah.
Let's just call it foresight.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, because it's the same thing.
Yeah.
People know what you're talking about. But yeah, I feel like that's what they were doing, but they abandoned it after Attack. I think it's after how bad of a reception, because most people forget, when Phantom Menace first came out, no one thought it was bad. It wasn't until Attack of the Clones came out that people started hating on Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
And I remember specifically, because I remember going to school one day.
They hated the kid being whiny, and it's like, it wasn't his fucking fault.
Yeah,
all
the
right?
kid and then Hayden Christensen. But really, Hayden Christensen didn't do bad. And like, that's what sucks is it's the Vader curse minus James Earl Jones, because he was already a well-established actor at that point anyway.
Well, even that, it's not the... First, I like what Hayden Christensen's done with his life. I feel terrible for the kid.
Oh,
None
yeah.
of that
Frank
was his fault.
Jingle All the Way.
Yeah. Fucking ended up getting into drugs. He's fucking schizophrenic. And...
Yep. It fucked up his whole life. Like,
Yeah.
That's stardom, though, for you, man. Like, if you're not prepared... Like, if you look at the back cover, you would think they've got fucking Darth Vader... I'm looking at the DVD for the Jingle All the Way, one that includes the theatrical version and extended cut of the film. It's got Jake Lloyd and Arnold Schwarzenegger on the cover.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm looking at. And if you look at the back, there's no picture of Jake Lloyd.
Shit.
At all. They got the little shithead neighbor kid and the mom and the midget beating up fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, but they don't even have... And they got Sinbad.
I know this is going to sound like I'm not saying this is a PC thing. Technically, that guy is actually a dwarf.
Oh, true. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair. Because midget would technically, 4'5"?
I can't remember all of the clarifiers, because it turns out there's different types of dwarfism people, and each one has its own specific kind of name. So you have something like the main one that I remember is a pseudo dwarf, and those are people that are under a certain height, but they have normal extremities. Like they have a normal sized head, and normal arms. It's
They're
just
just
their
small.
legs and their torso that's small.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Yeah, and then you have fuck, what are they called? That's the only name I can remember. But a midget is actually something very specific. A midget is something like a pseudo dwarf, and a dwarf is like this little
What
guy.
would be the difference then? So like, would the midget just have?
It's all structural.
Okay, so structural integrity is where the difference definition comes from. Okay.
Oh, okay.
That
so
makes sense.
That guy, dwarf.
Dwarf.
The ginger guy missing his front teeth in the first Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movie.
Midget.
That's a midget.
Gotcha. Okay, I can distinguish the two now. Okay, that makes sense.
Which
That
I
makes
think-
sense because they are two separate like body types
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to everything. So it makes sense to identify them as that.
Which I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with. I know a lot of people have a problem with that. Like, oh, humans are human. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, and I
still,
get you.
They're still humans. It's just a fucking clarifier.
It's easier to fucking figure it out. It's not like Rec and I are gonna go into a room and be like, oh yeah, it's a guy. Which even then that's debatable, I guess, in today's society. But you know, we're gonna go in there and be like, oh yeah, we're looking for a guy. Okay, what do they look like?
Well, we need them to be kind of short. And, just say dwarf.
Yeah. Well, even like we could go like you and I walk into a place because we don't look alike at all. Like when people,
I'm short and stocky and pudgy and.
I'm tall and fucking skinny and fucking a twig.
Yeah.
So like you flick me, I break. We're very easily distinguishable people. Minus eye color. I think we have the same eyes, right? Like
I've got like a hazel green blue thing. Or
okay.
green blue,
Mi-
green and
mine's-
brown thing.
Mine's like red, green, and brown kind of thing. And then my hair, it's like red and brown. So I actually found I'm almost a ginger kind of. It just makes because I guess like the way my beard shines.
Maybe you do have some Irish in you.
Maybe. I mean, it's entirely possible, man. But I've got like auburn hair, so it's almost
In the right
like,
light, because most of the time it looks like
Dark.
like black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's funny. Like you get me
No
in the
such
right
thing as black hair. It's just dark brown. What the fuck do you think black is?
Oh my god. Yeah, it's like fucking idiots.
It's just a dark tone of any color.
yeah.
And we had a cat that was technically like a fucking black-haired ginger cat, and you couldn't see it unless he was standing like in the window during the end of the day when the light shone through, and you could see the red in his hair. It's like he just had extremely
cat
dark
was that?
red hair. His name was Indy.
Indy? Okay, yeah. I
Yeah.
don't think I met Indy before.
Poor guy. He was declawed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll suck to
Before we got him, we don't do
okay.
that shit to our cats.
Yeah.
Not much of a reason to.
Yep. Well, yeah.
Let
I mean,
him-
even Nova, like, fucking,
Let him fuck up the hutch. Who cares?
no one gives
Or your
a
coffee
shit.
table.
Yeah, no one gives a shit. Even Nova never really did. Nova before Nova got fixed was a little like fucking ridiculous, but like after Nova got fixed,
It was mostly whenever she was like on her.
when she was in heat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I mean, I get it. Like that actually kind of goes to what we were talking about earlier. Before I think this was before we actually came on here about how animals and okay, I'm getting way off topic.
Yeah, we are fucking horribly.
Yeah,
off-
today's one of those days where we're not. It's not as focused as last week's episode, which is fine.
Let's talk about the Crow movies.
Oh yes, we definitely need to talk about the.
'Cause I
Crow
know most people love the first one. I love all four.
Yep. I've only seen the first two. I've seen The Crow, but I actually have not seen all of City of Angels.
Oh,
and I've
yeah.
seen bits and pieces of 3 and bits and pieces of 4, which is the one with Edward Furlong
Uh
in it. And I remember seeing the cover of that, and I was like, I'm not gonna fucking watch this. I'm not gonna watch this.
To me,
shit.
there's something to love about every single one of them,
Okay.
and I think it's like the funny thing about it is that like the first one and the third one keep like a really hard comic book tone to them.
Yep.
And I love. Oh god, I find it so tantalizing. Especially in the third one, they even do this whole trippy thing with them where the dog fell asleep. That's
Yeah,
adorable.
he's like, you guys are so fucking boring.
Oh man, but it's great. He I think he spends more of his time like looking through the eyes of the crow than any of the other ones,
Mhm.
and it's really cool to see because it's almost like a setup. Like you see the path that the bird takes to get through the room, and then he's just like right behind it. And the guy that plays him, I forget his name, but he's just got such a cool aesthetic and a build to him.
Mhm.
With his he's got kind of like a big his head looks slightly too big for his body. He got floppy brown hair and everything like that. His whole makeup his whole makeup thing, he doesn't actually put that on. He gets put in the electric chair with a fucking iron mask, and it burns the shit out of his face.
That's right, because he didn't actually have it. That's like the actual fucking makeup.
That's
is
just
the
the
burn.
mark of the crow now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, at least they tried something new
Mhm.
with that. Because, I mean, they could have easily just, like, Oh, it's Mitch Shift Night again, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they do that again, but like
even just like the subtlety, just the subtlety of the idea that they're just like, oh, he didn't come back quite right.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, so his body still looks like his skin's a little bit paler, his lips are a little bit like rosier and stuff, and his eyes are all fucking blood red around the edges and shit.
Because Eric Draven came back basically human, then he did the makeup himself for everything. Which I mean that. It's kind of like with number 2. Number 2, people give a lot of shit. Now, I've never seen it. I've seen the whole movie, but I've seen it in like different sittings. Yeah, like I've seen like the beginning.
So you watched it the same way I watched The Room. It took me a year to watch The Room,
which is hilarious because I watched that straight through.
I watched 5 minutes of it. Took about 2 months as a break, and then watched another 5 minutes of it.
Yep, I remember you telling me that. Like, well, I finally finished The Room. I'm like, didn't you buy that like a year ago? Like,
no, and I started watching. It was on YouTube.
Oh, right. That's before they got taken down.
Yeah.
That's before the next renaissance. Because that movie seems to go through, like, renaissances. Where it'll, like, be really popular for, like, 5 minutes, and then it'll stop being popular. And then it'll be popular again for, like, 5 minutes, and then it just keeps doing that. So, but good on Tommy Wiseau, man. I mean, way to turn a negative into a positive.
I hope he's making a lot of money off.
He is. He's making a new movie called Big Shark right now.
Jesus
I think
Christ.
it's already out. Yeah, it's a shark attack movie in, like, New York or some shit like that.
So it's Sharknado.
Yeah, basically.
He's just making Sharknado.
Yeah, basically. See, that's another one that I can't say I love the Sharknado. Oh yeah, we do got to probably wrap it up here pretty soon. Mm-hmm. Fortunately, it's a little bit of a shorter episode. We've got plans to meet up with some people later. We didn't talk on too much music other than Cleo. I'm trying to think if we missed anything.
Not really. We'll wrap up with The Crow then.
Okay.
So like
we can always do a part 2 some other time.
My absolute favorite thing about it is like unlike Highlander, they're pretty consistent with their lore, what the whole spiritual aspect of it does, but they do small expansions on it and make it relevant to the thing that they're kind of going up against in that time. Like the first one, you had those
Targan
two.
And...
Yeah.
Oh, so you're talking about the Crow, yeah.
Yeah, your two main villains. They were some type of like Satanistic Wiccan. I don't really know what you call it, but they did blood rituals, they did all that stuff, but they weren't really that good at it, Mm-hmm. And then the second one, City of Angels, they had a different guy who was like much heavier into the occult.
Yeah, which made more sense why he would fight the Crow in that sense.
Yep, and he even performed successfully a blood ritual to steal the Crow's power.
Yep.
And it worked, but then this whole thing was going on during Dia de los Muertos, so then that guy utilized the thin barrier to kind of like channel spirit shit to destroy his enemy, and it fucking to me that kind of shit works.
That's pretty cool. Like then that's cool. It's not shows originality. It's not like they just fucking took a they didn't take the script of the first one and make it into the sequel. Like there's a lot of people that say,
they Die Hard 2.
Yeah, they just made the same movie. It's like no, they didn't. No, they didn't. Now I like Die Hard 2, but it is basically Die Hard 1.
Yep.
It's
whole fucking 9.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Except in this time he's trying to get on the train.
Right, as opposed to the fucking thing. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like with Crow, I think because of, and I hate to be that guy, but because of Brandon Lee's death, it made it hard to make a sequel where people were gonna take it serious, no matter what the quality was.
Yeah, even if they did decide to make a sequel, you can't bring him back.
No, because he's dead. That's the whole point. Is he found his peace and needs to move on. He's not Batman. Yeah. He can't keep fighting different fucking villains like all the time.
Yeah, and I did like I did like how they solved that. They, the whole thing took place both from the perspective of the guy, and from Sarah. I want to say was the little girl's name. She grew up, became a goth. A lot of fun. Got heavy into her her like Memento Mori kind of shit.
Yep.
Studying what he was and trying to find any references to it while becoming a tattoo artist.
Sweet.
But I liked what they did with that, and I like that her story ended up kind of ending in the place where it began, where she
full circle.
Yeah. It's kind of like to me that played into an idea of like the perception in the bar. Like there's this idea that you kind of choose somebody based off of the most important person in your life. So that's why the idea like men always marry their mother and women always marry their father. And that's like in that regard it kind of made sense. The reason she didn't really have any strong relationships because her pinnacle that she was trying to like get back to somebody so amazing as to come back from the dead to avenge the death of his wife.
Yeah.
The only time she made a connection like that was with a dude who came back from the dead to avenge the death of his son.
So, which is actually kind of interesting to think about. It literally.
They might not have been like actually in love, but there's
enough chemistry, yeah.
For once in a movie, I actually kind of bought the idea of the romantic interest, especially in a movie like The Crow.
Maybe I'll have to sit down and watch, because I can't say too much with The Crow, because I haven't seen it in one sit. The Crow 2, City of Angels in one sit. Maybe we should sit down one of these days and like actually sit down and watch it from beginning to end, because I feel like I would appreciate it a lot more. Because like I don't hate it. I think it's actually pretty good from the little bit that I've seen the whole thing, but in the bursts.
Yeah.
But I think seeing it straight through will have more of an effect rather than just in bursts randomly. It's funny though that you brought up the analogy of Highlander with this. Because man, I don't think any of the sequels are really good at all. That was what I was going to bring up for the
show's good and the first movie.
The show is good. I do like the show, but this is going to be one of those ones that we're going to have to bring up for the disappointing follow-ups, because wow, do I have a lot of shit to say about Highlander 2: The Quickening. Mostly like how you could have fixed it, but maybe we'll do that for another time. But I think ending on The Crow is a good place, because The Crow is the graphic novel is amazing. The first movie is fantastic. Still a classic. And I would even argue that most people wrote off 2, 3, and 4.
I understand them not liking the fourth one.
Right. Edward Furlong,
cheesy,
Tara
Reid.
And, yeah. I said it earlier. Like I saw the cover and I'm like, no.
Granted, I don't care what anybody says. David Boreanaz plays like the third best Satan I've ever seen.
I guess I've got to watch it. I think one of these days I should actually like stop just shitting on the cover, because like you look at the cover and you see Edward Furlong looking all edgy, and then Tara Reid in I think the right or the left corner.
Yeah.
And then like it's like a fire background. Like, come on, you didn't even try.
I've gotten into it with people about that kind of stuff too, like with the edgelord stuff. And it's like, oh, like that doesn't automatically make it. It doesn't. Lame, no, some of the most edgelordy motherfuckers I've ever seen are the coolest characters in the thing.
Right, and that's why I'm definitely hypocritical, and I'll gladly say that I'm being fucking hypocritical, because there's been plenty of times where I've had to defend shit, like Vincent Valentine from Final Fantasy 7. If you don't know what he's all about, you're like, he's
fucking
stupid.
Heavy edgelord.
Yeah, fuck yeah, he is.
Doesn't he wear a bright red coat?
Yeah, bright red coat, gold claw, and everything. But if you know who he is, you'd be like, yeah, Vincent's fucking awesome. So that's one of those things where I think it's going to come down to individual like relativity. So because I haven't seen the movie, my initial perception
Kratos. I don't get like how people don't think Kratos is an edgelord.
Yeah, Kratos is the biggest.
Everybody loves Kratos. I don't fucking get what the detachment is there.
I think honestly, because most people haven't played the first game. Like, and that sounds crazy, but I feel like a lot of them have, because
even the second one, your whole first mission, like when he activates his like super god powers, he just literally screams, "I am the God of War!"
Yeah, and he just fucking literally rips people apart. Like, but the thing, I think most people haven't played the first one because they remember him as the Ghost of Sparta. I love God. I'm a huge God of War fan. Yeah. So like I'm big. I still haven't played the new one yet, but I've got to get to it.
I think I'm like a quarter of the way through it, and it's a lot of fun.
I hear it's amazing.
I spend so much time on the side missions.
It's hard. That's what I've heard, that it's hard to just stay focused on with that, because there's so much to do in the game, which I think is amazing. But
every time I get like a new unlocking thing, I'm like, okay, where was all the shit that thing will open now?
And now I'm going right back.
Yeah. So like right now I'm trying to defeat all the Valkyries, which to me are the hardest boss in the whole game, because I've
heard about them.
7 of them.
Yeah, I've heard about them. That's a normal thing I hear from a lot of people.
3 hours to kill one.
Oh fuck that! Maybe I won't.
I suck. No, I think it's just because I suck. Because I'm like, I can't get my shield timing right. I realized I needed to like spend. I had close to like 3,000, like 300,000 experience points.
I just didn't know you had to upgrade.
I fucking cashed in all of them, and I still had a hard time. Like once that was like, oh, this is so much easier now. I've got so much more stun abilities. Like, because part of the problem that I have with it is that I couldn't figure out. There are certain things they do. Like one of them kind of like swoops up in the air and like flies down, grabs you, smashes your face into the ground, and drags you around and shit. And I could not figure out how to like get around that, because I'd go to dodge it, or I'd be like in the middle of picking up a health thing. Because as you periodically beat them down, they drop like 2 or 3 little health tokens.
Yeah.
And And I just couldn't figure out how to fucking get it, so I'd always try to dodge it. And then all of a sudden, like, it fucking dawned on me that I still had this flash ability with the axe, so I'd keep my axe equipped, and then whenever I saw her, like, do this specific move right before she dove, I just went, fuck it, and then stunned her, and then started attacking. So once that happened, I was like, oh, there goes the other half of her health bar.
Yeah, thank fucking God. But, what was I going to say?
Even the walkthroughs of people trying to kill those things, it's like,
oh yeah, that's what I hear all the
like
time.
15 times.
Yeah, the Valkyrie is one of the hardest enemies in the game, so it's no real like sniff on you for like getting your ass whipped by them.
On the second lowest setting.
That's what I was saying. So with the reason why I don't feel like a lot of people played the first one, literally in the opening, because if people see Kratos and they just think he looks badass, he's got white paint and red paint. The thing
that's
is,
his skin.
Yeah, that the white paint is not paint. That's the ashes of his dead fucking
wife and daughter.
Yeah.
Who he killed.
Yeah, who he killed because he was in a blood rage and the God of War made him fucking kill his own family. And then as sin and punishment, he has to wear them for all eternity. And then you got the Blades of Chaos, of course, too. But like...
That was a different curse.
That different curse completely. But yeah, the fucking ashes is... And people don't want to say he's an edgelord. If I've got the ashes of the one love of my life, which it's not, but like the love of my life and my fucking kin on me, I'm going to be a little pissed off.
Yeah.
A little mopey. A little bitter. A little fucking angry.
Put it fucking mildly.
Maybe we should do that too. Like, go with like edgiest fucking characters. The whole fucking thing on that, but
edgiest headphones.
Edgiest headphones. All right, so I guess I'll say I'm Holy Nick. Thanks for watching and all or listening.
Rex Steady, suck my horn.
Bring us your hate.